Happy Monday. Today's San Francisco 49ers report is presented by Roan. You can get 20% off at roan.com/chatsports. I'm wearing the Commuter Collection polo. See for yourself everything that they have to offer using that link down below, and we'll tell you more about them here coming up in just a bit. Let's start off today's show with the new Brock Purdy update from head coach Kyle Shanahan. Niners just got off the practice field a little while ago. Shanahan met with the media. Does not expect Brock Purdy to play against the Las Vegas Raiders in preseason game number 1 on Sunday. The exact quote from Shanahan, quote, "I doubt that Brock Purdy plays." He also does not expect that a lot of starters are going to play because San Francisco going to travel to Las Vegas this week. Couple of joint practices, scrimmages. They're valuing that over the actual game, but in the game, you can evaluate some of the young players and the fringe roster types. So the quarterback rotation against the Raiders, I think, is going to go as such. I'd be shocked, and it would be a good look on Trey Lance if Sam Darnold started that game. So I think Lance is going to start. I hope to see him for 2 quarters. If he can play that entire first half, we know that he needs experience. Let him get those reps to see what he can do for your football team or showcase what he can display to another team. Again, what he does against the Raiders throughout the week and some of those joint practice sessions going to be important as well, but nothing really replicates what real game action is like. So I think Lance starts, Sam Darnold comes in after him, and then Sam Darnold and Brandon Allen, they're 2 known commodities. They've played more football at the NFL level as compared to Lance. That's why I hope San Francisco gives Lance a lot of reps. He certainly needs it, and he deserves it. Speaking of Sunday's game, San Francisco watch parties return right here on the San Francisco 49ers report on Sunday. Live play-by-play. Audience interaction, Super Chat giveaways. In fact, we just got the Amazon order in for our Super Chat giveaway. Kickoff is set for 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 1 o'clock for those of you watching on the West Coast. We're thinking an hour pregame show. What a great rivalry this is. And this game at the end of the year last year on New Year's Day, one of the more exhilarating matchups, not just between these 2 teams last year on their respective schedules, across the National Football League. Can't wait for it. And since it's Raiders week, they were never faithful to the Bay. San Francisco still faithful to the Bay and always faithful to the Bay. We have a sub battle going on this week between 2 of our top channels here at Chat Sports. Raiders Report, been around a little bit longer, closing in on 139,000 subscribers. San Francisco 49ers Report at 82,167. Which channel can pick up the most subs this week? I hope it's us. How do you do that? Hit that sub button right now. What this week looks like for the Niners here, they will have their 11th practice of training camp tomorrow on Tuesday. That follows with an off day on Wednesday after they travel to Vegas. Joint practice on Thursday and Friday, and then preseason game numero uno is on Sunday. Another Shanahan update. Doesn't expect to play many starters in week 1. He said as much. He's putting more value into these joint practices and these joint scrimmages where you can actually see a lot of these ones go up against one another. As for the Monday quarterback battle at Niners training camp, Brock Purdy played really well. 9 of 17, 3 touchdowns, all of which came in a red zone sequence. They came on consecutive plays as well. He did throw another pick. That continues to be a big problem for Brock Purdy. Not just interceptions, pick 6 variety interceptions. Sam Darnold, 5 of 9 with the touchdown. Trey Lance, 3 of 7, a touchdown and a pick. Both Lance and Purdy running for touchdowns. And let's talk about Brock Purdy here. Brock Purdy in the red zone period, those 3 consecutive touchdowns on 3 straight plays goes to show you game's starting to slow down for him a little bit. He's getting more acclimated and more comfortable since he didn't have any offseason work in a team setting. And then he's thrust into first-team reps as soon as he's cleared medically. And early in training camp, struggled a little bit. He was working through some of the blemishes, some of the hurdles, right? As the practices have transpired, he's been a little bit better. And look, let's also talk about the overall quarterback battle. With how Brock Purdy played last year, coming in for Jimmy Garoppolo, he deserves to be the team starting quarterback in week 1 on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But just because Brock Purdy should be the team starter and deserves to be QB1 for week 1, that doesn't mean that Trey Lance is having a bad training camp. In fact, Lance has made a lot of the necessary improvements that everybody was asking for him to make. He cleaned up the mechanics where the arm motion is shorter, more concise. He's cleaned up the accuracy where he's not missing on some of those layups. Just because Purdy is going to be QB1 doesn't mean that Lance hasn't made some important strides. He has. Both quarterbacks playing pretty well throughout training camp. Both things can be true. The San Francisco 49ers report is presented by Roan. 20% off your order at roan.com/chatsports. You've seen me wear their commuter dress shirt today on the show. I'm wearing their commuter polo, and men's closets, they were due for a radical reinvention. Roan stepped up to the challenge. They knocked it out of the park. Roan's commuter collection, the world's most comfortable, breathable, flexible set of products known to man, and they have products for every occasion. You want to have a drink, sit back, relax, you can do that. You want to take your girl or significant other out on a date, that's cool too. Hang with the homies, golf, host shows here at Chat Sports. Roan literally has clothing items for anything that life throws your way. And I love their comfortable 4-way stretch fabric. I'm all about wearing clothes that are comfortable, but look good, feel good is the motto. But the stretchable fabric is really important too, because sometimes that cotton, it gets a little bit too warm, uncomfortable, and it's just not durable. But with the Roan commuter collection, they have pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, and you never have to worry about what to wear. I also love their wrinkle release technology. The more that you wear these products, the wrinkles disappear. So while you make the investment in Roan, you don't have to worry about going to the dry cleaner any longer, because that is always a hassle. Roan.com/chatsports, 20% off your order. Link available in the comments section and in the description of this video. San Francisco, in the wake of Elijah Mitchell going down last week with that adductor strain, did work out for running backs today. Duke Johnson, Brian Hill, Jeremy McNichols, and Jason Huntley. Jeremy McNichols did play and was with the 49ers back in 2017 when Kyle Shanahan was in his first year as Niners head coach. Duke Johnson, probably the most notable name on this list. Either way, with Elijah Mitchell out, Niners are set at running back. You still have Christian McCaffrey, Ty Davis-Price, Jordan Mason. You could throw Kyle Juszczyk in the mix as well. Yes, he doesn't play running back, and he's not going to get a lot of carries, but because the Niners do have a fullback on the 53-man roster, he basically takes a roster spot away from another would-be running back. Kalon Laybourne also doing a good job as a UDFA so far in training camp. Whichever body they bring in, if they sign somebody, not going to make the 53-man roster. Some more training camp takeaways from today's show. Kind of an instant reaction version here. Drake Jackson, he did leave practice earlier today. More on that in a moment. But can he take a second-year leap? It's important for him to be able to do so. He's had a very strong training camp up to this point. Needs to really just step up and give Nick Bosa some help, because the last month of last year, Nick Bosa, I thought, got a little bit tired, and Drake Jackson can certainly help Nick Bosa not have to deal with as many double teams going into his sophomore campaign. He needed to bulk up. He needed to add some weight, and he was able to add about 13 pounds. And anytime he's talked with the media, the guy looks like a different athlete right now, much more bulked up. And in turn, his training camp practices, he's been able to turn in some pretty good sessions there. One of the plays of note for Drake Jackson in training camp, he went step for step with Elijah Mitchell on a wheel route, pretty solid on one-on-one drills, and showing off a good pass rush arsenal. And I think that there's a good player in here, because in weeks 1 through 6 in Drake's rookie year, he did perform pretty well. He had 3 sacks the first 6 weeks of the season. That's pretty good production for a rookie. 4 quarterback hits, 2 tackles for loss, 1 pass breakup. The thing with him, he wasn't acclimated with the pro game. He was so used to that college schedule. Keep in mind, he's also pretty young. But the lack of size wore him down, and physically, with his stamina, he hit a wall. That's why he was a healthy scratch for several games down the stretch for San Francisco in both the regular season as well as in the playoffs. But that added weight, does it allow him to stay on the field a little bit longer, fresher, able to take some of the hits that ideally happen, obviously, playing the game of football? Now, he did leave practice today, limped off on the second team of team drills, did not come back. No update from the team as to what happened with Drake Jackson. But the fact that he's performing well up to this point is certainly a good sign for San Francisco here because they need him to have that big second year. Another player at defensive end who's been turning heads a little bit, Taco Charlton, a former first-round pick bust for the Dallas Cowboys who took him over TJ Watt and hasn't really done much throughout his NFL career. But he has stolen the show since getting signed last week. And here's Taco Charlton talking about playing for defensive line coach Chris Kocurek. I feel like we're just a pack of animals out there just playing off instinct. And that's what Chris Kocurek allows his defensive linemen to do. Feast, eat, and attack. Career stats for Taco up to this point, he has been a massive disappointment. 95 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 11.5 sacks, 22 quarterback hits, and some of these one-on-one drills, been able to show off this nice little rip and spin move. His quickness off the line of scrimmage has been notable, winning on some of those one-on-one drills, but also in team drills as well, and he's been getting first-team defensive reps. That's somewhat of a byproduct of Nick Bosa being out, but it's not like Clelin Ferrell has really risen up and blown everybody away to earn that starting role or to compete more with Drake Jackson. So this is an interesting development here, and good for Taco if he's able to finally put it together. You know what this also means, though? Look, I've said this a few times. Chris Kocurek is the best defensive line coach in the NFL. He does as good of a job as any position coach across the league of maximizing players. The ultimate Chris Kocurek flex would be if he can turn around both Clelin Ferrell and Taco Charlton in the same season. 4 years for Clelin Ferrell since being drafted 4th overall by the Raiders in 2019. He's only been able to stack up 10 sacks. 6 years for Taco Charlton, 11.5 sacks. Up to this point, both players have been certified busts. If Chris Kocurek can develop them into good players and do with them what he did with Charles Omenihu, Arden Key, Kerry Hyder, Nick Bosa, just to name a few, that right there, the ultimate flex from Chris Kocurek. Will Taco and Clelin Ferrell make the 53-man roster? Give me an on or off. We're talking both players here because they're earning significant snaps for San Francisco here this offseason. Another reminder, watch party coming up this weekend. Subscribe, turn on those noties, and let's beat the damn Raiders report in a sub-battle this week.